say they said in a theater to.
I do that to get the stuff off of it, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, gas station. They dropped this one too, so
Well, I get that.
there's like some yellow stuff on there.
No, you should add. I'm 100% with you, because like so many people just on that, and I'm like, do you know where that's been?
Right.
Or it's been shipped? It's been sitting in the store doing all that. You have the guy,
Just probably do it twice now.
the guy sneezing on
Freaking
it,
me
whatever. When I mean, just whoever. I mean, it's been sitting on the shelves and having whatever family, just rhinovirus, whatever, just sneezing all over it. And
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good. Okay, hold on. Let's back up. This is important. We took a week off, everybody.
Yeah.
What's up? Hello, we're back.
we are back.
Holiday season. We were enjoying ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get into that in this episode.
Right.
But what number is this? 25?
25, I believe.
This is 25. So we have, what is it, 52? We're one away from 6 months worth of
From
podcast
the half,
episodes.
yeah.
That's crazy.
See, I thought we were going to go with like the 100 part, like, well, we're a quarter.
We're a quarter of the way
Quarter of the
there,
way, quarter of the way to
Perspective.
100. I thought that's what we were
I
going
like
to
it.
go.
That's
but
too
like
big
one
of a
more.
goal, John. Hanging on by a thread.
Well, the thing about it is, a buddy of mine, when he was older than me, and so the thing was, like, I graduated 17. So like my friends were generally older than me, and so like they got their license, they got growing up in that, and I'm like, okay, once we hit 21, I was like, it's all downhill, like it switches.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm the younger one, and then I get to mess with them.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't seen him in a little while. I'd started doing. We both worked at McDonald's and that together, throughout the time, and he was still working there. I started working at the video game store, and that. So I just hadn't seen him in a little while, not a long time, a little while on that. But I knew his birthday was coming up, So then I come in, and I always mess with him about his birthday for whatever reason. And that's, we were literally, and this is the story. This is 25. This is how young we are. Right. So it's not a but for whatever reason it bugged him, and I knew, and us being me, and that. So I just get in there with it.
Yeah.
So then I come up and I just see him. I'm like 25, a quarter of a century. I was like 25, and that going in, and so then he goes, he's like, it's like people have been messing with me the whole time. It's like nobody got to me until you came in. So you came in with a quarter of the century. Yeah. I was like saying that for whatever reason that just dawned on him, and then he got
wrecked him.
But yeah, just and then knowing how to poke buttons of your friends, it's positive.
This is true.
But I'm just saying, you got a quarter. It's a nice,
it's
a nice number.
We're almost there.
So, but also, 26 and then half a year. That's good too.
Yeah, numbers are interesting in that way. Numbers paint a real different kind of perspective that we don't anticipate sometimes.
Right.
Like negative numbers.
It's like negative numbers.
That's a weird thing, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, negative numbers and zero in general.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
because you can understand, okay, like we're coming up with numbers. We're inventing math, which is a question itself. Do you think math is invented or discovered? Because there's a school of thought like, mathematics and that, like it's a human invention. Like we're coming up with these abstract ideas and these, representations of, things, numbers, and that type of thing. But there's also, it seems like mathematics is inherently built into the universe. And so we're discovering mathematics too, not actually inventing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think to some degree mathematics has to be something that can only be facilitated by people that have consciousness in the first place to be able to create the mathematics system. And I would say if it stopped there, I don't think I would think too much more about it. Mm-hmm. But I think when you think about everything that the human species has accomplished because of mathematics, in the sense of what we can build and what we know, and then an association with the universe, I think it's really hard to think that we did the whole mathematics thing by ourselves,
Yeah, but because it literally, the more you dig into it in science and the cosmos, it seems like mathematics is literally ingrained into
like it was
your reality itself.
Yeah.
So that alone, I'm just saying, is an interesting idea of whether we're actually inventing it or whether we're discovering mathematics as we go on.
Yeah, yeah. I think. Well, I think it's kind of coherent, right? Because there's so much we don't know about the planet, and then I think a lot of people use mathematics to understand and learn more about the planet. So they're kind of interchangeable in that way. They kind of like mix with each other. I was listening to a guy talk recently about infinity, and he was talking about essentially. Listen, I am no expert at this one, and this one is quite literally mine bending and breaking, but you can essentially fit infinities inside of an infinity. Now, of course, when I say that, it doesn't make much sense, but they were talking about some hotel. In very layman's terms, vaguely speaking, the concept is you have a hotel, and it has X amount of rooms. Actually, not X amount of rooms. It has an infinite amount of rooms. But you have one guest that goes to check in, and another guest, and another guest, and another guest. And what you do is, to be able to get every single guest to be able to check in, they just move by one increment. So you take guest 1 and room 1 and move them to room 2. So now guest 1's in room 2, guest 3 comes in, guest 3 is going to be in room 1, guest 2 that was in room 1 is now going to room 2, and then 1 is now going to go to 3, and that can go on for an infinity, right? And so we say that, and then it's like, okay, well, you're just talking about migrating these people and they'll never stop moving. Listen, that's besides the conceptual point. I know you're not asking this question, but I'm sure anybody listening to this is going to, understandably so, because I was doing the same thing. This gets weird when you start to think about incorporating another infinity. So let's say you have group 1 infinity, and they're moving into the hotel. But now you have group 2 infinity that wants to come into the hotel. Well, there's, I guess, kind of algorithmic ways to handle this sort of thing. It almost kind of makes me think of like a sorting pattern of programs for some reason. But you could just do odds and evens. So you could make it to where all of group 1 now only moves to odd number rooms, and then all of group 2 only moves into even numbers. And so now you have 2 groups of infinities coinciding within each other. And so I just thought it was a very bizarre thought because it keeps going. That whole process keeps going.
Oh, yeah.
And there's work and stuff that is being done with that in the regards to, I think, computational power of computers and stuff. Stuff that personally I can't wrap my head around right now because I can't allocate enough time to learn that stuff. But it seems very cool. It's very interesting. And numbers in that way are just fascinating to a degree that's, in this case, quite literally unfathomable.
Right.
Like, it's just...
Yeah, it's beyond our comprehension. But I've heard that concept too. And again, me being A, not good at math, and B, just a layman in general, like, I heard that. There was there's infinities that are bigger than other infinities. And you're like,
what?
What? I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And it was the same thing, like you were saying, it was infinities inside of infinities. I'm like, well, if there's an infinite, that doesn't make sense that there's, that. But mathematically, they're like, okay. They can show it out. And I'm like, well, I can't check your work. So I'm like,
looks good to me.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I don't, and that type of thing. But mathematically, like I said, it works out.
Yeah.
But, to what you brought up before, as far as negative goes, like you can kind of understand, like, okay, we're back in the day, it's BC, all right. We have bones and we're hitting each other with them, and and that. But we can count how many bones or how many bonks in the head you have, and how many lumps you got, and you can count. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, and that type of thing. So you can understand.
Yeah, it's intuitive in a way, right?
Right,
it has to be.
But that would even be a big jump, like mentally, just representative of okay, 1, 2, 3, like that type of cognitive jump of this number represents things. So, which is cool, and would be a big jump, would be very useful for counting. Hey, I had 10 apples, and now I don't. What happened? Like that type of thing. Yeah. And to be able to communicate that to someone, versus that type of thing. But then once you get into negative, like it's not intuitive. It's not like representative of that. It's a whole different construct.
Yeah.
Of a line of thinking, like, oh, I have negative, I have not existent amounts of whatever.
Things,
it's a whole nother jump, as far as mathematically goes, and I said, definitely odd. And even some, I can't remember, but, I'd read stuff before about, that zero had to be invented. Just the idea of nothing.
Yeah.
Which, like, again, is more intuitive. Like, I don't have anything. But, and a representative of that nothing
Yeah.
is a different jump in mathematics or, whatever, human line of thinking.
There's two things that come to mind when you say that, and I think it was, there was a guy talking about learning about a specific language, but it was through like tablature, and so he was able to read a specific type of language within these old tablets. That guy said something that I think is kind of interesting, because we're kind of hinging on this thing where it feels like a conceptual like milestone that humans were able to communicate like this number system effectively. And I think so, definitely, without a doubt. But I think the guy said something interesting to me, or not to me, but when I was listening, it was a podcast, and he was talking about how he doesn't think that conceptually people were that different than we are now in terms of the way that we think and the way that we are. Just the only difference is the place and time of which they were acquiring the information, which I thought was an interesting thought, because it's not that the people didn't have the same consciousness that we have. It's just that they were at a point of limited knowledge, like general knowledge about a bunch of different stuff, especially to the extent that we have now, and communication is really high right now. So in that regard of like communication and mathematics, it propels us exceptionally far forward, or exponentially. You see what I did there? Brownie points.
Math too.
No, I think there's something to that. I think I always had this weird thought that maybe they just weren't as bright as us, but I don't think I would put it that way. I just think it was a different set of rules and games. Now, before we go down that rabbit hole, because that is a big one, because it's a psychological one, the numbers thing. Let's get back to the numbers thing for a second. I do think that the concept of negative numbers is very bizarre. It is bizarre. And then, of course, the first thing I thought of was economics in conjunction with negative numbers, so we can know that you owe me money. And then the next thing I was going to say is society needs that to some degree, right? But this concept of not only just evaluating numbers for what they are, like I think it's really easy to be dismissive of like how interesting numbers are. Like I think in most cases people probably think 0 through 9 are like the most dominant numbers, right? Because they're I don't know if recursive is the right word here. They are reoccurring within our numbers, whether we go up or down, right? But something that was interesting is kind of the properties associated with 1 and 9 and 0. Like, those are really important numbers because they hinge on the difference between the base changes within a set, right? Yeah. The moment that you go from like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 10, now you introduce a whole nother digit. Right. And also with that being said, it has to be the base, so it counts up the 1. Now, of course, I say that, right? And people are going to be like, this guy has 10 fingers and he's just learning to count. And listen, I understand it sounds basic, but understanding that there's a special property to that, especially in association with something like infinity, like we were talking about. The way that that can change kind of how these numbers that are infinite move around with each other as they start adding infinities or reducing. It's a very different way to think about numbers.
Right. Well, I mean, different societies have different bases. Like there's base 12. There's base 12 societies. Like
not dominant, but
well, I mean,
not in mathematics anymore.
Yes. I'm just saying. Mathematically, I do just think, hey, it's easier. As far as that goes, but. And then just like you said, a little more natural with the with the 10 and the I mean it is I said super neat to your point to think in depth, like it seems simplistic and it seems like
we make it simplistic intentionally so it's easier to go about maybe like day-to-day numbers. But then we neglect like the special, almost kind of like properties that are associated with particular numbers. I just think it's kind of bizarre that we, like in the case of talking about buying a $2 hot dog off of a hot dog stand, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, and I know you know that, but I'm saying like, it's crazy that we just kind of like, I don't know. There's
Well,
just,
I mean,
like
even
that's
if
a whole field. Like
E-
there's people that spend their lifetimes just associated with numbers in that way, like that special kind of way, right?
Yeah, well-
and we kind of like forget, because we don't always work with numbers.
We don't get
I
in there,
guess,
right?
like
Get
that,
in there.
right?
Yeah, there's all kinds of mathematicians, but I would say, even like you're saying, those base, first 9, and I mean, it's just most common use, and that, we don't use the number 73 as much as
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that, like, I mean, they're just, since they're lower, they're more used some more casually, but to even just think about how weird, like, odds and evens, like, why do odds mess with people?
Yeah, I don't.
But it's seriously, not like, like you're turning the remote up on your television. Most people can't leave it on an odd.
Yeah, that's true.
They have to have
an
it
even.
They have to, it's
Yeah.
got to be an even, or even some people go to 5, or the next one, or but that would be about it. Like maybe let's say maybe 5 because it's halfway to 10. But other than 5, I don't know of any. A lot of people really cannot leave it on
Like an odd number.
on an odd number.
Yeah,
like,
I'm kind of like that.
you're like, no, I gotta
like
get,
that.
I gotta have it on an even. Like,
Yeah.
what is that? What do odd numbers do to you?
Yeah.
Like, but why is it? They literally we have a feeling
That is a weird thing. I wonder if that's,
associated to them.
Yeah,
like,
that is-
an even amount. Yeah.
yeah, even's not. Even's like containers. It's like no leftover, no remainders. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's like
Yeah.
that number. But I could make the argument though. Anybody who knows about prime numbers and stuff, though, they'd probably be more content with odd numbers. If they just thought about it like prime numbers. It'd be a little
maybe.
better. Like, oh, this is
I don't know.
This is a square root,
Right.
or this is a factorial number.
Yeah.
Even though it's odd. Now people that listen to this are gonna be like, "What's a factorial number?" And they're gonna look up factorial numbers to
Well,
find
we're
out
on the
which
internet.
ones.
They can do that.
Yes. I love that. You people do that. I want you to do that. Brings me joy, actually. Drop a comment if you do that, please.
Right.
I would love to know what factorial number you picked.
I looked at which one you picked.
you know?
Yeah, but I mean, I would say more people that are of that mind, like I said, prime numbers, factorial numbers, like that, they might be more. But those are special numbers.
Listen.
But they are inherently special because of that.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, even those would give them a different feeling because they're special.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Now they're going to be upset that it's not on a factorial number. Like, stupid, dirty evens.
I would love. You're right. I would love that.
I shall not
I
leave
would love
this on
that
an
if
even.
you shattered somebody's, like TV
Psyche and
habits
association
because they're
with
like, I never thought of that. No, like, it's-
Me too.
but I mean, that's the thing. Is at least like, I don't know. Maybe to your point, as far as mathematically dealing with remainders and stuff like that, is more why we don't like odds.
Maybe there's like a subconscious inherent like problem of when you're like, you first learn division and you're like, this is way harder than like this
You gotta
even
be
number.
exact on.
Yeah, now I got this like leftover, and it's because this number
Yeah,
was
we gotta go
inherently
more.
odd, and
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
maybe that's.
I mean, maybe that is like, I never really thought about it, but like I said, I never really thought about this.
That
Like,
could be part of it.
why is even an odd? Like I said, what do odds ever do to you?
And then you just subtly teach your brain over time.
Odds are terrible.
And then you're like, if I put the TV on an even number, I can hear it better. I don't know.
There's so many people, that
I'm like really guilty of that. I do
Right.
that all the time.
like
all the time.
Like I
I'm
said,
like,
about
has to
the
be.
only thing I can notice, like whatever the range is, I've seen people they can stop at 5s, but I think that's just because it's halfway to 10.
Yeah, you're like.
But if it
five's
if
a solid number.
so like 25, like I stop at 25, whatever. But if it's 23,
Yeah.
and really
If it's
that's
3,
the right.
7, 9.
Yeah, right, yeah.
We're
but
done.
And really,
We're done.
You're right. And 23 really is the right. Like it just, I got to go up or down. I can't be, and that, but it could literally come in like, that's the right, that's the right.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, I got to have a little bit more.
You know what really messed people up? Decimals. Can you imagine if they added like a decimal to like the 300ths or something,
Yeah.
just for like when we turn our TV up and down? Oh, that would wreck people's day.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't even think they would have to go to the. Now that might move them more towards odds are okay.
You think so?
Yeah, because then it's just, I got a whole number. Like I
just got to the hole. We're good.
if we had to deal with decimals, like, no, I just got to get to the whole number. I got to get to the next whole number.
Introduce like worst user interface to try and like add.
Did you see the competition on that?
No.
Oh, you need to. It was. Oh yes, this is absolutely hard. You will absolutely love it. It was literally volume, and it was a competition to make the worst user experience for changing the volume on a computer. It was amazing. And if anybody gets a chance, look it up. It was absolutely amazing. I swear it was hilarious.
I will check that out. Torture myself.
Yeah.
I did watch a TV series recently. That's kind of cool. This is kind of out of pocket.
Okay.
Talking about routines and liking even numbers. Let's talk about something that's out of the routine that I don't normally do.
Right.
I watched the Fallout series.
Oh, I heard that. I haven't got to watch it, but I heard
pretty
it's
good.
Really good.
It's been pretty good. I think you should check it out.
Yeah. It's kind of on my list that like I forget about.
Yeah.
But I'm like, whenever it pops back up, it's like, oh, new season's coming. I was like, you know what, I should, I should do that.
It's very good.
Yeah,
it's very good.
I heard it.
I'm a big fan. I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to
get into it and all that.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
I snuck in The Electric State.
Oh, nice.
And got to watch that.
Yeah, the robots.
Yeah, the robots.
The robos.
Yeah.
How'd you like it?
Robots and humans.
I saw that one, so we can.
Fight. Well, that's what you introduced it.
Spoilers.
I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
You introduced it to like episode. Who never
knows
knows?
when, yeah.
You told me it was like
One
Electric
way
State.
back when.
And you even said like, I think that's more up your alley than some of the other ones that you were talking about. But yeah, no, it was pretty good.
I liked it.
There wasn't anything like too extravagant to make like and not that every movie has to be like that, like this mind bending, make you think like it kind of went along the lines of once you saw it. Well, once you saw it get going, you kind of figure which is fine with movies. I'm not one of those people that like, oh, this has to change my life to be able, for it to be a good movie.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with it, and that. But it was good. Had action. Had
I think
stuff,
the thing that was
comedy.
the most, I think, like you said, it's not mind changing. I just think it was kind of an eye opener to a legitimate possibility of living robots, like living in the essence of has their own consciousness.
Yeah.
And is I guess that's not new, but to have it portrayed in a way that feels human-like, but they're still clearly robots. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was why I was into it.
So I like the humans that could put on a thing and split their consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's to me that I got into that a little bit more, and which we kind of talked about a little bit. Part of your brain is like in paradise, whatever you want to be. Yeah. The other part of your brain is doing what this mechanical robot that you're controlling is doing, this android.
Yeah.
So I was like, as far as that, I had a hard time, dealing with that. But I'm like, I don't know how you don't fry the brain. And it actually made me think of, there was a Black Mirror episode that the woman on there, she actually had a trauma and had this brain injury. And this company came in and said, hey, look, we have this thing where basically we map her brain, and the part that is damaged, we actually kind of put it in a cloud and run it off of a server back at headquarters.
Yeah.
And it will beam, it'll work like that, and it'll beam to them, and then she can use it. It's just part of that part of the brain is actually, instead of feeding in here, is feed to the home computer and that.
Yeah.
And so
That's
this guy
cloud
hits.
compute, bro.
You're right. So then the guy's like, oh, is it safe? And the girl that was introducing that, she's like, I have it myself. That my part, part there.
Yeah.
So she's like, here's the thing. She's like, you can only go somewhere along these towers, and that we're looking to expand because we're starting out, that type of thing. You'll be able to get further. Basically, you had to stay in this area. But then coverage will go and it'll get better and everything will be good. Okay, great. And that, sign her up.
Yeah.
It works like a charm. She's great, comes back, she's doing that. Well, then, it's a Black Mirror episode. They start charging more for it.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? you have to have that part of the print, you know,
Yeah.
that, so the company starts charging more for it.
Yeah.
And then the company decides, you know, they put ads in. So she literally just starts saying ads. Like, and she's like, well, we tried to make it to like whatever you're talking about and make it easier, digestible of when it's in the conversation. But the, you know, ads, she's like, what do you mean? But it would literally take over her and she would just say an ad. You know, and that, but she was like, well, you can get rid of that if you go to the plus.
if you
upgrade to the plus thing, you know, and that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, then they were upgrading, so she didn't have to do that. She was a teacher, throwing out ads at the kids. Like, she's like, I can't teach. Like, they're firing me.
Yeah.
You know, so then, you know, they're doing that. But then, you know, they're just trying to get by anyways. They don't have it, you know. So then, you know, they're trying to work overtime, trying to do this stuff. And then, you know, so then, you know, well, now we got the premium plan. And the plus is really the kind of regular, and the premium is the plus. Now, and they just kept on adding more and more and more, you know, and that.
I feel like you're selling me tech.
You know, but that's what it was, you know, and that. Like, they kept on that just so she could, you know, function.
Yeah.
Like, they kept on that, and they kept on that, they pay more and more, and like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're stuck. But anyways, like, having part of that, having the computers work, you know, for part of your, you know, consciousness, that's what it reminded me of.
You said that, and it made me think of a question that I think is very pertinent, and I have to ask you. Do you think money will still last if we all convert? Like, if we're all robots and or if we're all in the cloud, do you think money will still exist in the same concept? Because then people won't be able to charge it the same, no?
Right. Well, I mean,
Conceptually, it won't be the same. Unless we did like, okay, sorry, let me make a distinction here. I'm not talking about like the Big Sim. The Big Sim is like still trying to encapsulate life. If you guys don't know what the Big Sim is, you're missing out. You need to go back to the previous episodes, fill yourself in. I'm not going through that. It sounds like what it is. Big Sim, retaining natural human life to some degree, unless you want to be a purple hippopotamus, which is fine. I'm cool with that. You do that.
You do
I'm
you.
going to have a filter. Anyways, listen. I'll still talk to you. Filter, though.
Right,
Anyway, sorry. Back to it. I'm talking like if you're robots, if we're walking around as robots, we're not.
so I'm an android. I'm in an android body.
We're no longer, you know, flesh and bone.
Yeah.
You don't get hungry. You know, maybe
Right,
you need some coolant or something, but you know, you probably shouldn't have to pay for that reasonably the same. And I really hope, since we're robots, we'll be able to figure out a way to sufficiently keep ourselves running with some better coolant. But you know, there's another resource problem, so I guess somebody would charge for that. But anyways, thoughts.
You run into the problem that a lot of sci-fi run.
Yes, break this down for me.
Because, well, I mean, as far as money, they always want to portray like, okay, we've evolved past money. Like Star Trek's like that.
Yeah, right.
You know, like, okay, we've evolved past money. We don't have money, you know, now. The problem is if you don't have money, how do you get somebody to do something?
Yeah, it's valid.
And then a lot of sci-fi, they end up doing a workaround and kind of have money, but not money. Type, you know, type thing, and they just don't want to call it that. So, I mean, like, literally, you know, the basis of money, I mean, it's all made up anyways, because, you know, a little bit what you're driving at. And if we are that exceptional and beyond as far as tech, you would want to think, you know, no. But, you know, what you were saying is right there. Well, what coolant is going to be on that? You know, what's going to fix me if I, you know, but, you know, who's going to do that?
Or is it going to be the fight of the robots
is it all,
for the coolant?
Right, you know.
Or is something going to happen to where we just have to put ourselves in like a Roomba? We have to put our brain inside of a Roomba.
Maybe.
And then everybody's
ride
physical
around
bodies
one
just
of-
die, and then a Roomba's stuck in a room.
Yeah, just.
And then
Cleaning
aliens
up.
come down, they're like, where's all the humans? And there's just a Roomba,
Roomba
with no voice module.
Roomba will.
Just hitting
Just,
the door.
just banging into the wall because it doesn't know to turn for for eternity.
on the
'cause it
inside.
can't-
I'm like, let me out, you know, but
it's
it's just...
It's just torture. Yeah, that's all that is.
Anyways, pass the Roomba.
But no, I would.
Yeah, limited resources.
I would say you would have to, like, you know, because like I said, to get somebody to do something for you, you know, unless I can do something reciprocal to you, which is like a barter system.
Yeah, I guess that's the question, though. Do you think we'll still have to do that for robots, though? You think we'll have to do that anymore?
I think
like, what
we-
happens to the point to where, like, the human race is now, in terms of reproduction, extinct because
Yeah, we're all robots.
we're all robots? Yeah, because then it's like, now you no longer need people to quote-unquote do other things for you. And I don't think conceptually we would put as high of a, well, one, you're going to live forever, right?
Yeah.
Provided that your computer parts don't burn up. So you'd probably make sure that that doesn't happen. But the amount of effort and energy associated with whatever task you're doing isn't going to be the same. Like mentally, it probably won't.
Yeah.
Even like in the concept of time, right? If you're going to like, as long as this robotic body doesn't, as long as your motherboard doesn't fry, you're going to be fine.
Yeah,
you know?
but
So it's not even like, I don't think we even view getting somebody to go like do something for us the same, especially if it's
But I mean,
another
I
android.
mean, to be fair, it might be robots that do that. It might not be other quote unquote human androidish. Until
Yeah,
because
right.
you would have to. I don't think you can build anything that's robust enough to never.
Ooh.
I don't think that's possible in a universe with entropy. I do not think that's possible.
Let's think about it. What do we have out there that doesn't?
Okay, there is
Interesting topic.
There's literally a possibility of proton decay. Okay,
Yeah.
that protons themselves could decay.
Yeah. That's cool. Takes a long time.
It does, but like you talk about, we're essentially immortal, so timescales don't mean the same what you and I,
Yeah, I
think.
guess here's what I was gonna say. Right, you have something like a tire rim, like one of them old school like tire rims that were actually sturdy and they were made efficiently, so you didn't have to keep buying rims because they bend because you went through a car wash. I like. It's true. And then it'll bend your rims if you like get through the car
Yeah,
wash.
it'll
You got
clamp on
nice,
it,
yeah, and then it screws your tires up, and then you think you got a messed up tire, but it was just your rim because you paid $2,000 for it, and turns out it bent inside of the car wash.
Just for an
That didn't
example.
happen to me. Yeah, I just it's possible. But the old ones, the sturdy ones, the good ones,
Yeah.
the old like Ford pressed ones. I'm sure there's some out there.
Okay.
The ones that you find at the bottom of the river.
Yeah.
That still look great.
Okay.
You could probably scrub that sucker clean and slap it on a car, maybe balance it, and it'd be all right.
Yeah, I'm
Now-
sure.
Okay, this is a stretch.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That stuff sits there forever. Now, it still deteriorates substantially.
Yeah.
But if we're all a bunch of working robots, and then the concept of time isn't the same, but we still realize we don't have to we shouldn't hang out in the water to get messed up like that tire rim.
Okay.
I just think that, I don't know, the window is very grandiose of time now. It's very big. Like,
Right.
I don't,
That's why I'm trying to say.
making something that would last, yeah, I don't know. Last is an interesting word to use in conjunction with time. In that scenario.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is,
Yeah.
like that was only 100 years,
Yeah.
which is a long time for us.
Right.
But if we're immortal computer androids,
Until the
that's
components
nothing.
break, yeah.
I feel like I said.
But even then, like, right, you got a buddy, right? Like, I got John. He's an android now, and John's fuse goes out. You're not, like, we're going to be sitting here talking, you're just going,
Right.
right? Of course, I imagine you not looking like this, so that's
Right,
why
well,
this,
I'm an
what I'm
android.
about to say is funny, right? So there's like a little cabinet, and you just got some little latches, like on an old school lunchbox.
you
You
just
just
open
flick it open, you flick
My
it open.
bald
right?
head just cracks
It just, it just comes a
On a
sign and
hinge.
go, his fuse is bad. You pull it out and just smack a new one in there, then you shut it up and you're like, oh, thanks. And then you clip your thing together, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that my use of time there will be so long, or that time would be so short in comparison to how long it'd be. I don't think I'd be like, shit, now I gotta go grab John a fuse. You know what I mean? And I think like it may promote a better society that isn't encapsulated in these things.
Okay. I'm
Just a thought.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm literally saying you had to apply energy and do something for me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
I'm deteriorating my components. Now you owe me a fuse.
Right, and then if you go down and get, that, but which is fine.
So
but
the currency is fuses. That's what we're going.
yes,
Yeah, okay.
and batteries and something, and that Fallout or something, like with batteries or something.
They use
I didn't play
caps.
that, or I was bottle
They
caps.
use
It is
caps,
bottle
yeah.
caps.
Yeah.
I know, something was battery. Anyways, but
That's I need to look that up. I don't remember why that is. That's an interesting point that you bring up. I should really know that.
bottle caps.
Yeah, and I gotta say, there's something satisfying about the game, because you were like, okay, you're like this is not a segue. I mean, we're gonna come back to what we're talking about, but
We're talking about current. This counts. Bottle caps is currency. This counts.
All right, I'm saving all my caps now. Listen, you would drink a bottle of what was called like Sunset Sarsaparilla in the game, and then like you would see the item add to your currency counter.
Yeah, because you got to
Or yeah, or like you would run over like a pile of caps, and there was just this like amazing, satisfying feeling of like, man, like could you imagine like being in a casino and you just have caps raining on you? Yeah, and like, but it has this unique sound. Like it's kind of crazy. Like I guess I would make it something akin to like hardcore gamblers. They have the sound of the machines that drive them to this place, right? This paradise.
right.
That's how I feel about those caps.
That's
It's crazy. It's very confusing. But
yeah, I don't know why the cat. I remember the thumb thing.
yeah,
The thumbs up. You know,
thumb thing,
the reason. You know,
Vault Tech.
yeah, right. But why he's doing that?
Yeah, dude.
Because of the nukes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if
Sure.
you don't know what we're talking about,
Sure.
is that they used to say that if you see a mushroom cloud and you put your thumb over the mushroom cloud, that you're actually far enough away from it that you're not going to get the fallout immediately. It's BS, but that's what. So like the guy that
He
is
says
in
this as he's wearing the Arc Reactor Fitness shirt. I just something about nukes and reactors, and I love it. But anyways, just checking for.
But yeah, so that's what you do. The mushroom cloud, if you can cover up your thumb, you're far enough away from it. But that's not how that works. Like you're far enough away from it, that's not going to immediately disintegrate you. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean a fallout can't come in. Literally,
Yeah.
the name of the game. But fallout, in general could.
Yeah.
But they used to say that in
hope you have
not
a
even in
vault to hide
Fallout.
in.
Right. I hope
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah.
jumping into the bowl.
Yeah.
But not even like apparently the government used to say that back in the day anyway. So they used that in their game and that.
Yeah, it was good propaganda.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think it made society feel better.
all that, everything like that. The duck and cover.
Yeah.
They used to do all those drills and that. Like.
What about the tornado thing? Is that legit? I think there is something legit to that.
I do think structurally in that like you can
Kind of like hide from a.
get
kinda like-
get into I mean just in a better place, even just being in like a doorway versus in the middle of a room.
What do you
so
think-
everything collapses on like
I
there's
really-
better things you can do to help out with a tornado.
You know how people have like bucket list things where like, man, I just want to do that. My life will be fulfilled. I don't know if they quite say that. Maybe that was a bit of an exaggeration. But anyways, nonetheless,
Yeah.
I genuinely wonder what it would be like to be in the center of like the eye of a tornado. That would be so interesting.
I mean, you could do it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe never
You
again.
do-
Very risky. Very, very
I
risky.
mean,
Yes,
it
this is
will
true.
really fulfill your life
Yeah.
because that could be the end of it. But
Yeah.
I think
Fulfill it with air.
right. No, I mean, I'm sure
objects.
it would be super cool perspective.
Yeah.
I like that, and hurricanes and that. The eye hurricane is always super neat to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Just that calm.
Yeah,
and
but
that
it's like
is
everything around it
weird.
is just.
Yeah, just chaos all around.
Yeah,
but
does that
not
mean if you
in the
just
middle.
ride the eye out, or if you ride the
if you
center
stay in
out?
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, eventually it's going to collapse.
Yeah.
So
So is it better?
like you have?
Is it better to get out at the beginning or the ending?
I,
That's a good question.
I would say to get out of the beginning so
Probably.
you don't have the ending coming through and trashing you too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, even if you like theoretically just follow that eye and just stay in the eye, eventually once they get on land, they run out of energy, and then that collapses and turns into a storm. So now it's not as strong as an actual hurricane doing
Yeah.
that, but you're still going to end up in a storm at some point.
Yeah.
Like when that eye closes and it just lets it loose.
You know how when we're higher up in the air, everything below us looks like ants, sort of?
Yeah.
Like the whole like airplane thing,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Time moves differently in that aspect, no?
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think the guys at the space station are on the satellites? When
Well,
they
I
see,
mean,
like the
Well, pretty much anybody says once you get to space, you have this different perspective on
Yeah,
your humanity and
yeah.
everything. Like it changed, like
just
like
like-
even Will Shatner talked about that. So he got shot up in space. Like it just changes your mind, and pretty much everybody's like, I wish everybody, like around the world, like all of our problems, all of that, if we could get into space and just have the perspective of, like you said, the blue marble.
Yeah.
We're on this little blue marble.
Yeah.
It kind of takes your,
and turns it
at
into
the whatever, right, it just kind of takes it down on. It's like, really, is it that important? And even the Apollo guys, when we're talking about the thumb, and that, and I don't know if it was Buzz or what, but they were talking about covering up the Earth with a thumb. Like everybody who has ever lived, like not even in that, then the guys next to me
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
like, and I just covered up with my thumb, like I'm at that distance.
Yeah.
Like when you see it from that high, like, it has to be. But even, even airplane, now I got up there, I'm a science guy, like I love science. Yeah. And I get up there, and for one, it's weird how it just doesn't look like everything's laid out to what, it looks clean, our city stuff, and, and that when we're down in the mix, it just doesn't look like that. But you get up there and you get that, everything's laid out, everything's cut.
A square here,
everything, right? Squares all over, like everything's laid out, and
not too many circles, but
and so, but you're just like weird, in that. But like I'm doing this, and to some degree, and I hear all those people that are like, oh, we shouldn't be doing, I'd have wings if I was meant to fly and doing. I'm like, whatever, and that type of thing. But even up there, I'm just like, I feel like I was like, we're kind of doing something that we, as humans aren't meant to be doing. Yeah. It's neat. And I'm not saying I won't fly again or do whatever, but it just a little bit of that does creep in of. Like this is super weird that I'm up this high, like, my monkey brain is like trying to handle it. It's it does. I do think even that perspective to me that hit me there. So I can only imagine if I got up to space, like if I how much that type of thing.
Just seeing like whole continents.
Yeah. Just like that. So yeah, I mean. As far as actual time dilation, like there's a little bit of a different type thing. But I mean, there's physical actual time difference because they're traveling, faster. But so it's not perceptible enough. But absolutely, our minds, our consciousness, our
because I guess like a good way to think about it is like sometimes like you look at clouds, right, and they look like they move really slow. Which granted, clouds move at different speeds, so I understand that.
Right.
But just the perspective of like. How fast they look like they're moving from the ground, right? And then you like get outside of orbit and you just see the planet spinning in the clouds. It's like a time difference perspective. And that time difference perspective is so much different than the guy that's on the ground looking up versus the guy that's looking down. It's just
it's super weird. I was literally, it's not even like I hadn't seen pictures. It's not even like I hadn't
seen,
right,
or but even video. We've seen video,
right?
Like good high quality video. It's just, I think we forget like that, like emotional attachment of a difference. Yeah, like it's mind-boggling different.
But I was even going to say, just 2 years perspective, and I was an adult and had a kid by the time I flew for the first time. I was that old, And, obviously, especially on a hot sunny day, the sun's blaring. I love when the clouds come up and cover it up, give you a little bit of, respite from, that beating down sun. Never actually thought about it when I was flying and looking at the clouds cast shadows.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You just never really thought, and I don't know what it was. I just never really, I'm like, well, yeah, that's what it's doing. But I thought it was the coolest thing.
The shade comes from.
Right, exactly. And that just never, but it was a different perspective. And just again, something I never, it's one of those weird things, that I don't know. Just my mind never calculated it like that. Never changed, the angle of what.
That's okay. I
and that,
I had the same feeling, but not with the clouds. When I saw the clouds, I instantly understood the clouds thing. Mine was with the plane. I had that realization with the plane because I always just, it's kind of what you're alluding to. Like, I thought the plane just kind of like blocked the sun. I didn't think about the shadow that came from it. But like the instances I'm talking about is when the shadow and the plane in one are the reason that I noticed it.
Yeah.
Right. So then I look up at it and I like can't see the sun. Right. But like same kind of like realization. My mind was like, I saw the shadow of the plane on the cloud.
Yeah.
So I was like, I looked out and I was like, woof, I was like, what the?
Why is the cloud
what
on the
happened?
shadow?
Yeah, and then I was like, it's the obviously.
Right, like I said, it's a simplistic, type thing. You just, don't think about it. But I mean, that stuff's neat. I don't know. I love that natural curiosity of anything, different things like that. But it's literally a perspective that you've never had before. So really, why would you think of it? Like, I'm kind of like chastising me, a little bit like, why in the world wouldn't I, not? But again, like, why would I think about, that? I don't have that perspective. I'm not a bird.
But then
I'm not above it, and I mean, it's simplistic, as far as that. But
it's because you know who you are. That's why you're chastised. I should have questioned that one. What the, John?
Right. But now, like, said, and then you go like, what else am I missing? What simplistic thing, not that really even matters like a whole bunch to me. That's going to change something for like it doesn't other than this conversation. Yeah. But like what else little things that could just, you see it like that's neat. Never really thought about it before, but I don't know, I like that type of thing.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So
Well, everybody, I think this is going to be a great closer, John. I think I like where we ended.
the cloud,
Yeah.
clouds.
Look down and remember yourself, or I don't know, something like that.
Well, I would just say look at life at a different perspective.
Yeah.
And then try to change.
Even the things you forget to think about.
Even your
Or
own,
not even think about in the first place.
right. But
Yeah.
even you can do thought experiments
Yeah.
and put yourself in different scenarios, different type things, and
Do those. Do
who
those.
knows what you're going to come up with.
Like you're going to be the factorial number of the hotels. Good luck with that
Put
one.
that in your perspective.
Yeah. Good luck with that one. Well, everybody, awesome. Thanks. Thanks, John. Had a blast.
Me
Bye,
too.
everybody.
Have a good one.
Nice.